What's up, Spine Tick? SithLordly here, back with another video. Very excited to be bringing you an introduction to Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars Volume 1. The title, the event, the big Marvel thing in 1984, which I experienced as a young comic book collector. We're talking about this, heroes versus villains across the Marvel titles, brought to Battle World by Beyonder, 12-issue limited series. And it wasn't just contained to comics, it went out to toys, role-playing games, things like that. So I don't want this to be a super long video. That's why I call it an introduction. I'm sure most people have heard about this series, but I'm just going to talk about it as a collector, as someone who loves these books, more than most of my life, really. So we're looking at issue 1 here. Look at just this amazing cover with all the heroes on. Came out in 1984. The title is called War Begins. The immortal Mike Zeck did the cover, along with John Beatty, who did the inks, and both of them were also, they handled the interior art. Jim Shooter wrote it. Christy Shield was colorist, Joe Rosen was letterer, and Tom DeFalco was editor. So that this staff that I just mentioned, the talent, they really appeared on most of these books. So just to avoid being repetitive, I'm just going to mention like when someone new does something for the comic. But let's just talk about who's in this comic. You got the Avengers, so you got Captain America, who actually kind of assumes a leadership for all the heroes, as voted upon by the heroes. You got Thor, you got Captain Marvel, and this is the Monica Rambeau Captain Marvel, the one that I grew up with. You got Hawkeye, you got Iron Man, but it's Jim Rhodes, and he's new to the armor. Not everybody knows he's in there. You've got She-Hulk, Wasp, and then with the Fantastic Four, you got Mr. Fantastic, Human Torch, and Thing. And Sue Storm is not part of this. She's back at home, and Mr. Fantastic, spends time worrying about her and the upcoming pregnancy and that sort of thing. Then you got the X-Men. You got Colossus, Cyclops, Nightcrawler, Professor X, and Storm. And what's interesting about them is Professor X is asserting himself as like combat leader now, and Storm takes umbrage to that. So because she's been the leader, so there's a dynamic between them. You've got Rogue, who's still questioning her role with the team. You got Wolverine, you got Lockheed, Kitty Pryde's dragon, but you don't have Kitty Pryde. She also is back at home. Then you got Magneto, who everybody is like wondering, why is he on the side of the heroes? And it makes them question the X-Men. But Magneto is a complicated character and one of my favorites. Then you got Spidey, and you got the Hulk. And the Hulk throughout the series is growing increasingly more agitated and more like the kind of like the brainless Hulk than the intelligent one we've seen lately. Then you have the first appearance of the Beyonder, but voice only. It's like word text on kind of like a cosmic art. Now on the villain side, you got Absorbing Man, Doctor Doom, Doctor Octopus, Enchantress, Galactus, Kang, Lizard, Molecule Man, Ultron, and then the Wrecking Crew: Wrecker, Thunderball, Piledriver, and Bulldozer. And that was fun, because I've always liked the Wrecking Crew, so it was cool to see a version of them in She-Hulk Attorney at Law. So that's issue 1. We're already 4 minutes in. Like I said, I don't want this to be too long of a video. So next up, we've got issue 2 here. Great Magneto taking center stage. This one came out also. These are all 1984 until the end, when the cover date changes to 1985. The story is called Prisoners of War. So I'm just going to kind of flip through these here, but giving you interesting tidbits. All right, so now we've got issue 3, which would be, I guess, a minor key. The story is called Tempest Without, Crisis Within, and it's the first appearance of Second Titania, and first appearance of and that is Mary McFerrin, who you've seen in She-Hulk now. Now, it's a different take on her, but it is her first appearance. And then you got the first appearance of Volcana, who is Marsha Rosenberg. And I just finished reading all of these again in trade paperback, which was fun. So I'm going to show you that as well. I do like to read my single issues, no doubt, but lately I've been getting into buying trade paperbacks of these books and then reading them that way as well. So we've got issue 4 here. Story's called Situation Hopeless. Now Bob Layton replaces Mike Zeck on the cover and interior pencil work on this issue, but Zeck comes back. This one is the first appearance of Zaji, who is like an alien healer, but she's, in comic book terms, an attractive female character. So Colossus and Johnny Storm actually are quite taken with her. But, Johnny Storm is kind of just fooling around. Colossus falls in love with her, and it makes him question, what he's got with Kitty Pryde, and he just can't help his feelings. So that love story kind of resonates throughout the series. All right, now we've got issue 5 here. A lot of great battling and action on all these covers. Story is called The Battle of the Four Armies. Bob Wycheck takes over cover inks on this one. It's the first and only appearance of Galactus Cat, which is a robot made by Galactus. So, it's nothing too important. It's just notable in the Marvel Wiki. All of this information, as usual, is sourced from the Marvel Wiki website, as well as CGC labels and Key Collector. All right, we've got issue 6 here. Now you got the villains, very similar to the issue 1, right? Where you had Captain America here, but now it's Doom, who's definitely kind of like taking on the leadership of the villains, but he also kind of goes his own way, because he just can't be bothered by the rabble behind him. All right, so issue 6, this is called A Little Death. It's the first cameo of the second Spider-Woman, Julia Carpenter, who is currently the second Madam Web. So it was a cool introduction of that character. All right, issue 7. Back with Cap on the cover here. This is called Berserker, and it's the first full appearance now of the second Spider-Woman, Julia Carpenter. There she is. All right, now here is the issue that, most people know. The famous Spidey suit, the symbiote. So this one is called Invasion. Mike Zeck is back for this incredible cover. Jack Abel and Mike Esposito join the inking team, and along with John Beatty. And it is the origin of this alien symbiote, which eventually becomes Venom. So now I've had this full miniseries several times, including when it first came out, and then every time I quit comics and then come back to comics, it's one of the first things I buy. Now this time around, I've been back in comics since 2015. So I bought this whole run back then, before there was any talk or hype, just because I love it. Everything I do with comic books is for the love of comics. It's fun to spec, it's fun to have key issues, but for me, the most important thing is that I love them. They're nostalgic to my childhood. They're treasures to me. All right, so issue 9 here. Now this has got the cover date of 1985. The story is called Assault on Galactus, and you've got Bob McLeod taking over cover inks. So pretty much Galactus is up to something, wants to battle the Beyonder or whatever. And, not only Doctor Doom, but the heroes also realize, hey, we gotta take care of stuff. So there they are, making a move on Galactus. All right, here is a very devastated Doctor Doom. Issue 10, Death to the Beyonder. You got Terry Austin on cover inks here. So, very gritty cover. That armor's gonna need a repair. All right, now this is fun. Issue 11, The Face of Doom. And, after all those years of never really seeing Doctor Doom's face and it all being scarred up and everything, he has now got the power of the Beyonder. It's kind of like yellow glow around him, and his face is restored and you see it. And it was like a wow moment for me as a kid. Not that I had been collecting several years back in 85. I was probably collecting maybe 3 or 4 years. But, the legend of Doctor Doom, it was already a huge thing back then. So I remember reading this, just being amazed. The story is called And Dust to Dust. You got Nelson Yomtov joins as colorist on this issue. And he actually kills all the heroes. And in previous issues, some people die, like Kang gets vaporized by Doom. Ultron gets destroyed later. Wasp kind of dies almost, and then Zaji restores her. But in this one, I mean, they're all wiped out. Like, their bodies are mangled. Doom sends down this, like, thunderbolt on them. But they all get resurrected in issue 12. And this one is called Nothing to Fear, even though the cover story says After the Big Bang. So that's the conclusion. There's Doom. Those are the 12 issues. We're kind of 10 minutes in now. Just want to show you a few other things. TSR, who made, that was the Dungeons and Dragons company, and I played a lot of D&D, released a game that was very like D&D called Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars. So this is a really awesome source book for Secret Wars if you want to play this campaign or scenario within that game. So inside, I'll just flash, they've got like cool stats on all the players and all their skills. So I remember kicking back with my buddy Fooster, who you've heard me mention before. We would play a lot of RPGs in Lake Tahoe. We'd go take a trip there, and I remember playing this game over there. Not Secret Wars per se, but the game. So that's the back. I mean, I have like almost all of these. There are so many of these scenario campaign books. There's one for X-Men. There's one for Asgardians. It's really neat. So check that out. Also, there was something, a trade paperback. Well, it's a comic series, 4-issue series, I believe. That's now a trade paperback. It was called Deadpool's Secret Wars, and it was basically like a what if, or almost like a retelling. Like Deadpool actually was in Secret Wars. We just didn't know it at the time. I had that issue run, and I'm going to get that back. And then here is the trade paperback of Secret Wars, which I just finished. I just read it over the past week. So you can get this inexpensively at your LCS or on Amazon. A cool adaptation of the original cover. And of course the Spidey on the back. So, there's so much we can talk about with Secret Wars, but I don't want this to be a long video. So consider it an introduction. I'll probably go deeper into Secret Wars at various times. I do have a video on this channel about tie-ins to Secret Wars. We're going to get into Secret Wars 2. So drop a comment if you enjoyed this and you want me to watch your content, because I use the comments as a reminder who I need to check out. Appreciate you watching. Until next time, SithLordly out. I almost forgot to mention that in issue 12, She-Hulk joins the Fantastic Four and the Thing stays on Battleworld.